What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly watch list. Every Sunday, if you're familiar with it, either I go live and we talk about some charts and my top picks for next week, or I make videos like this where I give you guys top 3 plays that I see have potential for next week, and a lot of these are either short-term swing trades or longer-term swing trades. So, if you like what you see, if you like, learning more about stock picks, my mindset between picking a stock, why I like it, why I don't like it, make sure you tune in for this kind of videos every single week. You'll to learn how I like to do technical analysis, what I look for in a stock, and my thought process all behind it. If you like this video, if you like more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow all our social medias. All the links will be down below. If you want to trade with me live every single morning, every single day, it's 5 days a week, you can trade live with me in our Discord community. The link is also as well down below. And if you want to check out our courses both for crypto and or the stock market, everything is down below. So let's get straight into it. We had a really exciting week last week. I had some really great trading days. I think it was Thursday and Friday that I both didn't have a red trade both Thursday and or Friday. So all the members that get the alerts banked out on those 2 days. We saw a lot of selling off last week that is scaring a lot of people, and we talked about this beginning of September. If you follow the channel, if you follow our beginning of September live stream, I mentioned I think we'll see a lot of selling off this month, and we have seen a lot of that this past month. We felt some of the SPY trend line, which we'll talk about later in this video when we get into the charts. But let's start off with what you guys are here for. What are Antonio? What are some picks that you're looking at for next week? What are these hot picks? What are you looking at? Well, first of all, let's talk about ticker symbol TDOC. TDOC Health. It's a symbol that's been really it was really hyped at the peak here months ago, but it's been selling off pretty massively. It's a stock pick that if you like it, you would. She's really big into this company. It was one of her biggest holdings at some point. I think she's been sold off some of her shares. And right now, I really like TDOC because it is sitting at a double bottom. So I already have this right now. Usually I delete them so that we walk through it, but I forgot this time, but it's okay. We saw this strong double bottom here at 130.59, and double bottom, if you're familiar with it, it's one of those really strong bullish patterns. It's pretty much a play off the support and resistance play, and it's pretty much, you can see that this zone here was actually a pretty strong support zone altogether. If we go back, if we look at our rectangle tool, you can see that this zone over here, pretty much all of this, if you go to rectangle tool, was a strong support zone and a strong resistance zone before we had this pretty massive run way back here in the March of 2020. But what am I looking for this ticker? So this is a ticker that you could pick up at the double bottom. If you did, hey, that's great. But what I'm really looking at is for this right here. So it has a resistance at this level between 143 and 147. So I'm expecting it has this descending here resistance, and this will be technically, if this should be breaking down the downside. This triangle is a descending triangle pattern. As you can see, it's been sold off, making the same lows but lower highs. So this is usually will break on the downside, but I don't think we'll see that. I think with a strong candle here, as long as we don't see rejection. If we see rejection, this could definitely be a short setup if we break under this double bottom pattern. But what I think this will happen will be a break above this trend line. So this pretty much this downtrending trend line will still break, and we'll see probably hit around 147, and then we'll wait for a little bit of a selling off, consolidation period, getting ready for the next move. Understand that when stock moves a lot, it needs some kind of sort of cooling off, some kind of sort of consolidation before making another move, because it's not going to go just keep going up. Because when things go up, only up like here, you get these massive sell-offs, right? And even if you see here, you saw consolidation, and another push up. So that's what I'll be looking for around this zone between 143 or 143 and 147. I'll be looking at this October 11th, October 15th contracts. I forgot which ones are available. I think it's October 11th, and I'll be looking for a move all the way up to 160. 160 olds, definitely take profits. Maybe you can push out some of your contracts if you're trading options, or maybe even hold on to your shares depending on your trading, and we can see another move to fill this gap. So it has a pretty large gap here around 185 and 180, and this will be my ultimate price target is. So I'm looking for this breakout as my confirmation. Look for consolidation here and another push up, and then another push up. So I really like TDOC. It's one of those growth plays and slash kind of tech plays. It is in the healthcare sector, but it is also in the growth sector as well. So TDOC is one of my top picks for next week that I'll definitely be keeping a strong eye on, and I have my alert set just because I think it's gonna happen. If we never get this confirmation, I'm not even gonna trade it. You understand that, and everything in your watch list you're gonna trade. If you put 10 stocks on your watch list, you probably trade 2 to 4. It was at the end of the day a watch list. It is just a watch list. Next, I want to talk about ticker symbol Open. So, oh my gosh, Open. If you've been trading, you probably remember. I know what I'm opening there. Ticker symbol Open. It was one of those when SPACs were really hyped up. It had this big, massive move all the way in the 40s, and right now, I think it's ready to potentially make another move up. So ticker symbol Open. First thing I would like to point out, it bounced off this strong support here. This 1380 level, which was really strong as it was in the middle of this gap, and didn't pretty much fill the whole gap with this little bit red candle down here that we got bought out. But as you can see, it was holding this level really strongly, bouncing on it very multiple times, especially especially more recent, that caused this big spike up here. Then we saw a bit of a sell-off, bounced back on the previous consolidation period, which was around the $17 level, and now it's banking back up again. So for ticker symbol Open, part of the real estate group, sector, right? And it's expected to have a 300% year-on-year revenue increase, and is a force to be reckoned with in the real estate sector. So this is a stock that I like for the longer term. So what I've been looking at for this is a bit of a longer swing, maybe even a 2-month swing. And I think we saw this breakout here on this trend line. So pretty much saw this trend line right here. We saw this breakout. So we saw this breakout. So down, it came down, retested it, kind of hung out a little bit under it, but it did make another push up. And what I really like about it, that he did consolidate in this level. So now if we zoom more in, just to get more to see it, then we see that this consolidation level was this previous breakout zone where he broke out of, and that's where he finds support to push up again and confirm this breakout. So I think this is a stock that has a massive potential risk to reward. It is a little bit on the higher end, but not on the higher end. I mean more on the higher risk place, because it's a smaller stock that can be affected more by news than the larger cap that we usually tend to trade. But I would say it has a lot of risk to reward. As you can see, the first resistance level being around 22.25, then 22.27, and then 31. So if we set our stop losses right back under, if you want to be more aggressive, you can set it right under this red trend line. Or if you want to be more conservative, you can set it right under this red trend line. If you want to be more aggressive, you can set it right under this blue line. It's going to be on you, but as you guys can see, you have a pretty massive risk to reward. The price target of $22, being only $18. That's about $4 potential reward, with the risk of about $1, even less than $1. If you want to be more aggressive, $2. Which is really good risk to rewards. And personally, if you like to even try this to hold this longer, you can look to take the next price after if we do get up to over here $22 price target, you can look to take profits back at 26 for the next price target, just increasing our risk to reward. It has really good risk to reward. It did confirm this trend line break. It did confirm holding the strong support where investors really want to come in and buy all the way down here around $14. And it is looking to keep pushing up. And what I also like about the sticker is that it did confirm making this higher high and this higher low here. Now we'll be looking to make the next higher high as the uptrend seems to be to continue. Volume also looking quite strong on the buying days compared to the selling off days. As you guys can see, even on this big red day, look at the volume was half as much as the next when we saw the buying coming in with the buying pressure. So the ticker that I'll be looking at, it's one of those cheaper tickers, so giving you a lot more potential for the risk to reward like we were talking about earlier. So far TDOC, Open, 2 really great stocks that I'll be looking at next week. Next, I'd like to talk about ticker symbol Z. Z is Zillow. It's another one of the stocks in the real estate. We got 2 stocks in the real estate sector today, which were interesting. Another one that we see, oh wow, support bounce. I'm telling you really like to trade those support bounces into reversals. Yes, I do. It's something that I feel like catching those reversals gives you so much more risk to reward. That rather than catching the breakout, I like to look for those. I like to look for that trend reversal, just because it offers me a lot more risk to reward. So ticker symbol Zillow. What do we see here, guys? Very similar to the first setup that we were looking at. we're looking off this double bottom bounce to break this trend line that is being again rejected on multiple times. As you guys can see, we did see some selling pressure as we did get rejected a little bit on this trend line. But I think Monday we could see a strong day. We could definitely see this breaking as we see the volume here, really strong green volume on the days that's been making that's having strong green days. Also, I think the stock again is massively undervalued, roughly 50% down from its all-time highs, giving a lot of potential risk to reward, a lot of potential for buyers to come in as they think it is undervalued. So another one of the stocks I'm looking for, maybe a 2-month potential, 10 to 16 weeks, maybe even 3 months, 2 months, almost 3 months, looking for this take profits, as it's going to be one of those longer term swing trades for me. If it does confirm this breakout area here, we're massively down after making this huge head and shoulder pattern here. You could have easily been shorting this whole thing all the way through, and now looking for that trend reversal. So it is undervalued, sitting under $100, which I think is very much of a shame. I think stock, the company overall on the fundamental side is looking really great. I've been looking at this for my first price target of 103.8, like sitting right around here. Wrong tool. Let's get our horizontal line. Looking at this for about 103.8, 104, pretty much right below here as the first major resistance level. If you want to do more, if you want to be more conservative, or if you want to trade short-term type of weekly contracts or something, you can look at 100 as a whole number. Of course, will cause always being a strong resistance level. As you can see here, the last time I tried to push, it got rejected on the 100 level. So 100, 103.8, then you can look all the way up to about 116 and a half, 117, all the way up here for the next profit target. And you take profits also depending on how much shares you buy and what you're looking for out of this trade. And next, you can even look at 124.85, 124 and a half, right above here. We saw this had the strong another resistance level where you get rejected. Pretty much all the levels that get rejected on this downtrend trend line. And you can move up to 140, 146, 158, and you go on so on. It still does have this little bit of gap here that you could feel eventually at some point. We can look at that. But yeah, that's pretty much one other ticker that I'll be looking at for next week. So the 3 tickers I'll be looking at for next week is TDOC, Open, and Zillow. 2 of those tickers are in the real estate sector. I didn't mean even make that happen for any kind of reasons, but it just happened. Next, I want to talk about ticker symbol SPY. The overall market. I've been getting a lot of DMs lately. Oh, Antonio, what do you think of the market? What do you think of the stock market? Is the market going to crash? And obviously I have whole lot of drawings from the SPY. And do I think the stock market is going to crash? No, I do not think the stock market is going to crash. Now let's go back to November. So let's also draw out this one from April 2020 trend line. So we see these 2 major trend lines here, the April 2020 and also this little quicker in October 2020 trend line. So we can see obviously that those were major areas of support. We saw every time pretty much it touched it. If we check here, if we go back in October, bounced on it. If you go back to March, bounce, then recovery. If you go back here a little bit, bounce, recovery, never feel this gap on the downside. Like to point it out. Can't even get to it. You can put this here, all the way here. Bounce here for 13, keep bouncing. So what am I worried about first and foremost about ticker symbol SPY? First and foremost, I'm worried about that. As you guys can see, every time it bounced here, it had 2 strong green days right after it hit it, boom, bounce back up. Here we saw that it was hitting it, and we didn't see that bounce. And I should have been giving you a big clue that's like, hey, we might be heading the downside. Came down, and then retested the second trend line. That we go a little bit further back. That we just from this second trend line is from November. That it tried to find some support, and it got rejected on this previous trend line, the one that's from back in April of 2020, and got rejected on it and came down. Also, I would like some indicators to talk about the SPY. First one be the moving average exponential, that we can talk a little bit about that, because that's an indicator that a lot of people like to talk about when looking at the SPY. I will change it to the 50, and then we see that on the 50 here it tried to find some support. It's a little bit under it, so we're going to see how kind of that one plays out. I like to add the 100. I'm going to bother with the 200. As you know, I don't think we'll see that one happening. So the 50 EMA, let's talk about first about the 50 EMA. Let me change a little bit the style of this. It's like a little bit, I don't like how it looks, and I want it to be visibility, default. So the orange line, this orange line, we saw this orange line being support multiple times, but it doesn't mean just because it's above or below the orange line, it can go lower. As you guys can see here, cross below it, we're going back to September, cross below it, hit the 100 bounce. Here, cross below the 50, hit October and bounce back up. Here, found support multiple times on it, so it is why we do care about it. And we're sitting right on the 50 EMA. So this could definitely be, I think we'll definitely see, I don't want to say definitely, but I think we'll probably see a bounce next week, or at least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, trying to fight, trying to bulls to fight this level, not just letting it give up. If they do let it give up, it'll be kind of a strong bearish shine. But also I like to point out that we have this zone here, which will cause, I think, a lot of support, which is this 436 to 435 to 441 level. It's kind of like right on the top of the zone we fell under. I think if we do fall under, we'll test the 100 EMA. I don't think they will cross below the 100 EMA. So I understand that, we saw it with these two trend lines here that I drew out a little bit ago. We saw that those caused the areas of resistance. If we go back to the one from October, we saw the it tried to catch it as a support since it didn't bounce on the one from April of 2020. But it did get rejected on the one from April because the one from October did not hold, and then boom, it fell under. So I can definitely see a bounce here, but I do think we'll find a rejection right around the zone here. I do think we'll find a rejection. Let me get my brush tool out on top of here. So this will be the major level. If we need to break above these resistance levels, if we don't break our resistance, if we do not break above this resistance level, it's not gonna look great, but I do think we'll find support at least this week around this zone right here, and potentially this 50 MA. If we do get a bounce on the 50 MA, looking pretty strong, we could push to break both these trend lines, but we will have to wait and see. But like I said, it's still a little bit early to tell to be bearish on it. I did think we saw some sell-off, which we did see, but I wouldn't call this being extremely bearish on this just because we saw some selling off. Of course, the Feds are speaking next week, so we'll measure on what they say, kind of where it's going to take the SPY. For next week, I think I'm more bullish than bearish, honestly, because we saw the selling off happening last week, and I think we'll see the consolidation or potentially bounce back up as the bulls try to defend 50 MA, the support level 440, 441, and then we'll have to see once we get to the resistance levels of these two trend lines how it's going to act. But for next week, so far, I am bullish. If we make a higher low or lower high here, then we have to retrace. If next week we just bounce up to 450 and then we get rejected again, then I think it look more for the downsides for the rest of the month into October. But as of right now, this is still making a higher low compared if you go back to the first major dip that we saw over here. Of course, it did make is making a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern here. As you guys can see, this is a really tiny head and shoulder here, but you could say that the neckline would have been around this level, and we already kind of saw the the fall out of it. Now, could be making a higher head and shoulder pattern here if this shoulder here forms here. It totally can, but that's why we have to wait and see. For next week so far, I'm bullish. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, leave a like, subscribe below, help out the channel. If you want to join me, hit the links down below, and I appreciate everybody for stopping by. If you have any place you want me to look at, comment down below. I might check them out. I might add them to my watch list. All good traders out there, and I appreciate you guys your time, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.